A lot of people around the world like being scared, and especially around this time, Halloween is a big holiday that everyone focuses on. But did you know that there's a lot of influence that Japanese cinema, horror cinema, had on the rest of the world? Today we're going to be talking about that. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. We're the hosts. My name's not Sadako, but it's MJ.
My name is Adam.
And hey, welcome to another episode where you're going to be immersed into an English conversation to better improve your English listening skills, and maybe you can pick up some words and phrases from our talks.
Yeah.
So everyone, today we're going to be focusing on something a little bit scary. So maybe some people might want to look away or not look or listen to our episode for today. Hey, but if you're in the mood, today we're going to be talking about how Japanese horror has influenced the West. Yes, the West. So if anyone kind of maybe laughed or understood my Sadako, everyone knows Sadako, right? Coming out of the TV. In America, that movie was called The Ring.
The Ring.
And is it the same in Japanese?
Ringu.
No?
Ringu, yeah.
Yubiwa. I guess doesn't have the same, like, it's not scary.
Yeah.
Yubiwa. Like, but in any case, there's so much of this new style of horror that is always evolving, I feel like. No matter what age you're in, like, I remember you see black and white movies, The Living Dead, focused on like zombies coming out and taking over the world. Of course, even before that, you had different types of movies and horror with Frankenstein,
Werewolves,
Dracula, the werewolf. These are like classic kind of horror monsters, scary monsters that a lot of Western audiences, me from America, Adam in Canada, we think about and we've seen as children.
Yeah.
This is what's scary, right?
Right.
But I feel like the whole world was very surprised, not ready for Japanese horror. Namely, things that revolve around The Ring.
The Ring, yeah.
I have never seen that movie. I would say I kind of like scary stuff, but not like, I'm not a huge buff when it comes to, I don't know a lot about like horror movies. I don't watch all the cult classics of horror movies and stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't entertain me so much. And that one movie is one that made such a big mark. But do you hear me, everybody? I'm talking like I've seen it, right? I know about it. I know she comes out of the well, the well. At the end, out of the VHS, it's all connected to this VHS tape. I forgot like the story of how she fell down there, but I know a lot of the story, and that's from not watching it.
True. That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
It's such a big part of pop culture. Of course, in Japan, you know, you hear all the shogakuse saying, "Oh, Sadako," right?
Kawaii.
But and there's a lot of maybe like dokiri shows where they have that character that looks like something coming out of a TV, right? In that same fashion.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is something that was like so different from American style. Adam, have you seen The Ring?
I did see The Ring, and definitely it was, at the time it came out, in North America, not in Japan, because I think it was like a later release over here. But when it came out, I remember thinking, it was scary, because at the time, the scariest movies here were more like, it got to a point where it wasn't jump scare anymore, or it wasn't like suspense scares. It was more, how much can we make a person cringe? Like, how much can we make them go like that? Not like, scared, but
very squeamish,
like a cringy kind of feeling. And there's a couple movies where it's not scary that there's monsters or supernatural. It's scary because it's somebody getting severely hurt by some crazy person. It's grotesque, gruesome splatter kind of
gruesome stuff. Yeah.
The Japanese horror movies, especially Ringu, which kind of started people's or turn people's eyes and attention to Japanese horror, it took people back to a point where you're not expecting what's going to happen next. You don't know what's going to happen next, which makes it even more scary. And they don't really tell you a lot of details. They don't show you many details. You have just the soundtrack to go off of and the visuals to go off of. And like, if you go to a movie theater and you're sitting in the movie theater, people are experiencing it together, and it's just a different kind of environment, atmosphere, where for North American style, it's more like, okay, this is kind of like, it's gross, right? And I think that's what set it apart, like huge
at that time.
That time. But I did see it, as you can tell.
So the next question, did you see the Japanese version or the American version that was made?
I saw both.
Oh, okay. Which one first?
The Japanese first. And I think as well, it's kind of the time where I was heavily into Japanese things, like all things Japanese. So
1991, I just looked it up. That's when it came out.
I seen it in the 2000s. Like, I'd seen it in 2000.
Yeah.
And I found out about it in the 2000s when I was in university. So yeah, it just all those kinds of movies really came back in the 2000s, and Japanese film was very popular.
The influence was so strong with this type of film that they made an English version.
Right.
At that time, I feel like a lot of people, especially in America, were not into reading subtitles, not into enjoying movies from other countries.
Yeah.
So what they did was they just made a new version, an English version of the whole film, which I think a lot of people mentioned that the Japanese version is scarier.
Yes, yeah.
Because there's more, I guess, mystery behind it. If you don't know about the culture, there's more things I feel you can believe about it, and you can really like find yourself diving into the story and getting sucked in.
Yeah.
And being able to not understand the language and just reading subtitles is, I feel like, just it puts you in another place of mystery as a viewer. So maybe that's another reason why it was so scary. But this one went on and on and on, which made me feel like they're dragging it out so much, right?
Yeah.
After The Ring, what came out? Spiral. Was the sequel.
Yeah.
To The Ring.
Yeah.
And then after that, like different types of movies, maybe from the same director, like The Grudge.
Yeah.
Came out.
The Grudge was like similar. I don't know if it was connected though. It felt
scary,
connected. It was scary.
Kids.
Yeah.
Dead kids.
Yeah.
White makeup. Of course, the actors hiding. Yeah. They come out. They're just saying, like, you know, that's what I say when I go to the doctor and he says, please open your mouth and say, I say, So I feel like some people kind of got tired of it. At the same time, like, it came in a big wave. It was super popular in North America.
Right.
And it was oversaturated with like how many people watched it, how many people talked about it, how it was so much in the pulp culture that it was almost too much. That's another reason for me why, like, I've never seen any of that, The Grudge or any of those that came out where it's like some wet, dead person, ghost that's supposed to be scary, like contorted in a weird, like, body position or something. Yeah. I had no interest of watching that, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't popular.
True.
And like you mentioned, Adam, it had people kind of step back into the old days of scary movies. If we're looking at a suspense movie like Psycho, right? Hitchcock's Psycho. That was all about suspense.
Right. The time
you had you didn't see anything. The way that the movie is filmed, the storyline, how it's progressing, it's more all about suspense. And I would say the same for Alien. That came out, Ridley Scott.
Yeah,
there's more blood and it's a little creepier because it's like sci-fi.
But it still has that same kind of feeling where You don't see. You hear.
Yeah.
You feel what they're feeling, but you don't
Yeah.
see the thing that's scaring everybody until like the very end.
Right.
And when you see it, you're even more scared because now you are feeling exactly how they are and how the people on the TV screen are or movie screen. Peter.
And then I feel like evolution of that, like going back to like figuring out what can be scary without seeing it.
Yeah.
I felt like opened the doors for so much new kind of like scary movies and horror to come out. One that was like a mix of horror and like just like running around that was massively popular was the Blair Witch Project.
Okay, yes, yeah.
There was nothing. You don't see anything. I think people got sick from watching that movie because of how shaky the camera was. Mm-hmm. But that was one movie that people were like so terrified.
Right.
When they walked out, when they finished.
Because it felt real.
It felt real, yeah. And there was no like monster.
Right.
You didn't see anything. So it's all about suspense, all about playing with your emotions through this visual, what you're seeing, what you're hearing.
Yeah.
And this is stuff, if you guys can't tell, like I enjoy movies and like how they're put together. I appreciate like the cinematography, the angles, what's the people are wearing, what's the colors that you see, what's the sound like, what kind of music they're using. There's so much work that goes into all of these movies and even TV shows that can really make you feel something. It can make you feel scared, or it can make you feel really happy and excited or emotional. And that's just like one of the great things of movies. But to bring it all back, this version that was giving the West so much influence was this Japanese style of horror.
Yes.
Let us know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Have you seen the Yubiwa? Was it scary for you? And hey, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want more English immersion.
Yep, but that's it. We'll see you
on the next step.